Welcome to the FatherStrong Podcast, where we connect, engage, and empower fathers to be the best dads they can be for their families and communities. And now, your hosts are Bruce Stapleton and Pastor Eli Williams.
Hello, and welcome to FatherStrong Podcast. Thanks for joining us today. I'm Bruce Stapleton, father, grandfather, and president of the Momentum Group, a digital marketing agency.
Hello there. I'm Eli Williams, and I'm a father as well. I'm the author of the book, Father Love, the powerful resource every child needs. I'm the president of Urban Light Ministries, which is what powers Father Love and the FatherStrong Podcast. Thank you so much for joining us today.
All right, thanks, Eli. Well, this week we're going to continue on with our series on raising safe, smart, and healthy kids. We're going to focus a little bit more about how to make your kids smart. So, every dad I know wants to have smart kids, but I don't think there's a magic formula that guarantees they're going to be able to turn out that way. There are things parents can do to foster the love and the learning and to prepare them for a lifetime of academic achievement. So, Eli, start us off a little bit in regards to, the blog post this week and some of your thoughts in regards to how fathers can continue to help their kids become smarter.
Yeah, well, Bruce, this is a challenging topic. I am in no way an expert in this, and intelligence is a complex concept to start with. It's not a one-dimensional thing. A kid can be smart cognitively, verbally, mathematically, musically, or something else. There's lots of ways to think of being smart. And like you said, there's no magic formula that dads can follow to make sure that their kids turn out to be smart. However, there are some things that parents can do to foster a love of learning and to prepare your children for a lifetime of academic achievement. And so we're going to talk about a few of those things today. One thing parents can begin to do is to encourage exploration and questioning. And this can be tough. When your kid is little, 0 to 5, they can have 1,000,001 questions and it can drive you crazy. I know, I've been through it now several times. And listen, despite the fact that it's annoying, the why this and why that all the time, by patiently enduring all of that, you actually can end up finding out what it is your child is really interested in. I mean, when you know their genuine interests, then you're able to engage them in that. And when you're engaging in something that they are interested in, wow, that really could be the key to your building a relationship like you could never do otherwise, because you're exactly on point in helping your child in an area where your child has an interest. So you can see how there is really a benefit to and a reason why we should put up with our children constantly asking why, because really they are indicators of what a child's interests really are. And so it can turn out to be a good thing. So as parents, we want to nurture their curiosity. If they're curious about something, that's good. Go that way. And who knows what the result's going to be. Another thing that a parent can do is and I talk about this a lot. It's almost embarrassing how many times I mention this, but it is so important. And that is reading to your child, reading together. It really should be done daily. And I want to challenge fathers especially to do this. And when you do it, to read how shall I say, with as much enthusiasm and with as much animation as you can, using different voices and going up and down with the volume and changing voices when it comes to the characters that you're portraying as you read. It really makes it fun for the child. And I'll tell you, when I do it, it makes it fun for me too. So even if they want the same story over and over again, that's really okay. It may get old to you, but if the child wants to hear it again, why not? Because some very important things are happening when you are reading to your child, especially when you do it on a regular basis. Science is showing that there are many positive effects on the child's brain development. Studies are suggesting that reading strengthens the connections between the brain cells. They learn how to connect, and when they're connecting and firing as they should, the child is actually being hardwired for learning. It's been discovered that reading to your child sparks their imagination, it boosts their language skills, it strengthens their memory, it cultivates a love of learning. And I could go on and on and on about that. And I encourage you to do some reading on your own, to do your own research into the advantages and the benefits that come with reading to a child on a regular basis. So that's why I stress it so much. And it's particularly important on this topic of raising a smart child. Reading to them and starting early is one of the keys. So 0 to 5, read to your child and sing songs, sing to them, play together, interactive games where you're both participating in that. It's very important. When you do that together, that too stimulates language development. It also helps with memory. It helps your child to develop problem solving skills. Who knew that singing and playing with your child has such benefit? But it does. And turn off the video screens. It's children who are that young, 0 to 5 years of age, really should not have any screen time. Unless it's video chatting with friends and or family. Pediatricians are pretty adamant on this, that children under 2 should have no screen time. And 2 to 5 years of age, it should be limited to just 1 hour per day. And even then, only with a parent involved or an older sibling involved in that screen time with that child. It's so much better to turn off the screens and pick up the book, or take the child out to a museum, to libraries, to the aquarium, to the zoo. There they can engage in age-appropriate scientific experiments, art projects, and things like that. Those are the kinds of things that by participating in them with your child, you actually model for your child how much fun that learning really is and how cool it is. Because after all, if dad is doing it, it's got to be cool. So involving your child in things like that, those kinds of activities, and actually being engaged with your child is a very, very beneficial thing as you want your child to develop intellectually. When we come back after this break, we'll look at some of the things that parents of 6 to 12-year-olds can do to raise a smart kid. Stay with us.
We dads and father figures need each other. We need a safe, non-judgmental place to share our stories, challenges, heartaches, and joys. Fathering Strong is just such a place. A new online community of connected, engaged, and empowered fathers. Learn more at www.fatheringstrong.com.
All right, welcome back to Father Strong Podcast. Eli, as you were talking about that, I was thinking that, when those kids are on the screen time, they're really not using their imagination. And I saw some articles about that where it said, if you don't give them the opportunity to use their imagination, you're really hurting their, intellect development. And I think that's one of the reasons that those types of screens are not good for kids. They just get them outside, let them use their imagination. So, well, you talked about that, and we need some safe and non-judgmental places to share our stories, challenges, and heartaches and joys. Well, I'm just reading the pre-recorded here. I don't want to read that. Hold on. All right, I already did the welcome back. I can cut that. Okay, let's see. All right. As we continue to talk about, how to make smarter kids, Pastor Eli, you shared some of the important things parents, from 0 to 5-year-olds need to look at and how they nurture their child's curiosity. So what about 6 to 12-year-olds? What are some things that fathers should do there to work with these older kids and help them really stimulate that intelligence?
Yeah, there are many things that fathers can do in partnership with the child's mother, of course, whenever that's possible, to raise smart children. Let's talk about a few of them. One of them is to support your child's education. Be involved. know what their schoolwork is, and be engaged in that. Help them with their homework. Go to the parent-teacher conferences. At so many of those things, it's mostly moms that show up. Uh, and a dad here and there being drugged, kicking and screaming. Okay, I'm exaggerating, but mostly it's moms that show up, and dads need to be involved in every aspect of the child's academic pursuits. And attending parent-teacher conferences is one of those important things. And of course, helping your child with homework whenever your child needs it. Encourage independent learning. Help your child develop strategies for research and organization. And listen, I'm not great at that, and so maybe you aren't either. And in that case, talk to the child's parent, the child's teacher. Excuse me. Go to the school, or maybe while you're there at the parent-teacher conference, ask your child's teacher what you can do to help your child to um, gain some skills when it comes to doing research and organizing their work and critical thinking. It doesn't hurt to reach out for help, and I want to encourage you to do that. And again, even at this older age, when the children get a little bit older, it is still important to read to your child, 6 to 12 years of age. Now, they're going to learn how to read themselves, and they're going to want to read. And yes, you should let them read to you. Again, it's a part of that bonding that's taking place. And isn't it great, when your child begins to take to reading and really love it and want you to be there for them to read to? That's a great thing as far as building a bond with a child. And dads, I want to encourage you to offer some diverse activities. Um, think about it, talk to your child about it, talk to your parenting partner about it, and come up with different hobbies and sports and different kinds of music experiences to share with your child. Maybe your child is interested in an instrument, or maybe they never thought about it. Well, it might be good to encourage them to begin to experiment with different instruments. Take them to a music store and just see what they gravitate toward. And then encourage them to take up a musical instrument or to practice martial arts or something else, because all of these things helps to enhance the cognitive skills that your child has. In other words, music and sports and hobbies and things like that actually do help your child to develop cognitively. And here we are again. Limit screen time. Yes, even for the older teenagers. Encourage them to go outside and play instead. Encourage them to do things that require them using their imagination. Bruce, as you said earlier, if we watch someone who is engaged in screen time, I mean, whether it's a telephone or a mobile phone or a tablet or a computer or the television, whatever it is, they sit there like zombies, and there really is no imagination going on because everything is happening on the screen, and it's moving so fast that there really is no time to think and contemplate or any of that. So it makes the brain lazy, just as you said. So it's important to encourage activity that is going to require the use of the brain. It's going to things that require imagination and creativity and physical activity. These are the kinds of things that can be done instead of a bunch of screen time. Experts are recommending no more than 2 hours a day of screen time for children who are in this great age group. So unless they're doing homework, it is really better that they're doing something other than sitting in front of a screen. Another thing that dads can do is remember to celebrate your child's effort and their progress. It's not so much the grades that should be the interest all the time, but really just the idea that they're putting forth an effort to learn new things and to be improving in their work. That alone is worthy of celebration. So, that give the pats on the back for the effort, because that's really important, and that encourages them. Children love to be they love to be complimented and praised for the things that they do. And I've learned, and I'm sure you have too, that you get more of what you pay attention to. So as we pay attention to their effort at learning, and their sincere attempts to improve with their grades and things like that, be sure to say attaboy or attagirl, and to give little rewards along the way. Um, your child craves it from you, and they will respond by trying even harder. And that fosters a love of learning, not so much the grades, but a love of learning itself. And when learning itself becomes something that produces enjoyment, you've really set them up for a life of learning. So the things we've talked about for that age group, 6 to 12, many of those things apply also to 13 to 18-year-olds, but we're going to discuss that age group after we take this brief break.
Do you know a new father who could benefit from a basic introduction to healthy fathering principles? POPS 101, a free online course consisting of 4 one-hour sessions in English or Spanish, could be perfect for him. POPS 101 lays out practical steps toward becoming the protector, order keeper, provider, and stabilizer his child needs. Learn more at urbanlight.org.
12-year-olds, I was thinking, 6 to 12-year-olds. So what are some of your thoughts on what fathers can do to, for the older teens, 13 to 18-year-olds?
Well, thanks, Bruce. One of the keys is to maintain open communication. I mean, with older teens, if you started young, if you started with the 0 to 5, I mean, that's great because you've set a pattern. You have started building the relationship when they're very, very young. And now it's a matter of maintaining that. But anywhere you're jumping in, even with an older teen, it's important to try very hard as necessary, to maintain open communication. It's important, Dad, that your child knows that they can talk to you about anything, and that you'll be non-judgmental, that you are a listening ear for them. And you'll find that they'll reciprocate. In other words, they will listen to you because you listen to them. So with that open communication, you're able to discuss their educational goals. Ask them, you don't want to start too early asking what you want to be when you grow up because they won't have a clue usually. But along the way, discuss their educational goals. What it is that the child is aspiring for. It may not even be something that you necessarily are in favor of. You may not want your child to aspire to be certain things, but it's important to know what that child's dreams and goals and aspirations are, and then to be able to provide them with some guidance and point them in a directions that can help them to prepare so that they can have the resources and the opportunities that they'll need. The Bible says to train up a child in the way that they should go. So it's certainly okay to encourage a child, and advised that you encourage a child in the direction in which they tend to be leaning. If they show a particular set of skills that are appropriate for a certain kind of career, it is certainly wise to then encourage that child to go that direction and to help them with the resources and to help them to find the opportunities they need in order to go in the direction that it seems that they are wanting to go and that they have the propensity toward. And challenge their thinking. It's good for dad to ask questions and to probe a little deeper into your child's way of thinking. Respectfully, of course. Have those debates though with your child. Discuss with your child those things that they're thinking about, their opinions that they may have, their way of thinking. Encourage them to analyze those issues, to think critically, and to see things from different perspectives. All of that's important with this age group. to help them to learn to think critically. And that requires challenging their thinking sometimes. It's important, Dad, to teach your child life skills, things like budgeting and cooking and other practical things that they're going to need. It'll help them to be independent and to be able to ensure their own well-being because of being able to take care of themselves throughout their lives. So that's one of the roles and responsibilities and really the blessings of being a parent, and that is to help your child in those practical ways. One way in which you could have a huge impact is helping them how to manage a checkbook and how to manage their money. So all those things are important. Teach them life skills, and none of that is worth anything unless you lead by example. Show them by the way you live your life, the things that you do in your own life, that is a good model for them. Teach them that you're not just saying what sounds good or what you've read in a book, but that you actually are practicing those things. So lead by example. Let them see that you're interested in learning. Let them see that you have hobbies that you're interested in. Let them see you reading a book for yourself and not just encouraging them to read. Limit your own screen time so that they can see that you're practicing what you're preaching. And by all means, if you're a spiritual person, be an example spiritually. Lead your household in things like prayer and Bible study and going to church. Those are all important things for dads to do and to model for their children. And all of it is contributing to your child's intellectual as well as emotional and certainly spiritual well-being. Promote healthy habits all around. That means getting enough sleep. Encourage them to go to bed at a reasonable time and to get enough sleep, and then to eat nutritious meals. Again, we've got to model that for them, but then encourage them to eat right, because it's going to help them to grow up and to be strong and to be healthy. And of course, engage in regular physical activity. Do it with them and encourage them to make sure that they are exercising their bodies in healthy ways. These are all things that contribute to and support cognitive function and well-being. So it's all a part of raising smart kids. Remember that it's more than about chasing academic pursuits and goals and getting good grades, in other words. It's more than just getting that college degree. It's really about helping your child develop a love of learning. Provide the kind of home where learning is a core value, where education and higher education is something that's talked about and encouraged in the home. If you start early, they will develop a love for learning, and they will want to continue to grow and to become a lifelong learner. I mean, what could be better than that? So those are just a few things that you can do as dad to contribute to your child's development. And we encourage you to learn more by reading this week's Fathering Strong blog post that comes out every Monday. And this week it's on this particular topic. So please take the time and read through that and do your own research and learn what you can about helping your child to be the best they can be. And that includes even intellectually.
Well, thanks for joining us today on the Fathering Strong podcast. For more helpful content written especially for dads, subscribe to our Fathering Strong weekly blogs at www.urbanlight.org. And next week, we're going to offer some suggestions for raising addiction-free kids. So please join us then.
The Word of God tells us to train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it. That's Proverbs 22:6. Sound advice there. May the Lord bless you as you give your child what no one else can, your fully developed father love. That's Fathering Strong.
The Fathering Strong Podcast is a production of Urban Light Ministries with technical assistance from the Momentum Group, and Harold Raymond provides the theme music. Thank you for listening.
Fathering Strong is powered by Urban Light Ministries, a not-for-profit organization serving the needs of families and children for nearly 30 years. Your support helps us continue turning the hearts of fathers to their children while meeting some of the immediate critical needs of struggling families with small children. Contributions of all sizes are welcomed at www.urbanlight.org.